Bobby Baker, a one-time Senate page who, through his close ties to Lyndon B. Johnson and others, became one of the most influential non-elected men in the American government of the 1950s and early 60s, only to be investigated for and eventually convicted of tax evasion and other crimes, died on Sunday, his 89th birthday, in St. Augustine, Florida. His death was confirmed by the Craig Funeral Home of St. Augustine. M.R. Baker arrived in Washington as a teenage Senate page and by 1955 had risen to Secretary of the Senate Democrats, an important behind-the-scenes role in which he counted votes on pending legislation, served as a conduit for influence trading and saw to senators' needs, including extracurricular ones. He became so powerful that he would refer to himself as the 101st Senator, and as he and Johnson, the Senate Majority Leader, formed a symbiotic relationship, others took to calling him Little Lyndon. M.R. Baker was a man who knew many secrets, and he spilled some in a 1978 memoir and even more in an oral history recorded by the Senate Historical Office in 2009 and 2010. But his power and knowledge did not make him immune from scrutiny. In 1963 he became the focus of a corruption investigation, one that for a time threatened to envelop Johnson, by then the Vice President, and even President John F. Kennedy. Kennedy's assassination in November 1963 took some steam out of the investigation. Once Johnson became president, there was little inclination to pursue him, but M.R. Baker was convicted in 1967 of tax evasion, conspiracy to defraud the government, and theft. After appeals, he went to prison in 1971 and served 15 months. "Russia wouldn't have treated me the way this country has," M.R. Baker said as he was beginning his sentence. "But I have no great resentment. No, this is a great country. It's done a lot for me. I like to think I have done a lot for it." Robert Gene Baker was born on November 12, 1928, in Easley, SC, the oldest of 8 children. He was named after 2 sports figures, the golfer Bobby Jones and the boxer Gene Tunney. His father, Ernest, was a postal worker, his mother was the former Mary Elizabeth Norman. When he was 14 he received an appointment to the Senate Page School after another local boy turned the offer down. M.R. Baker would later receive a law degree from American University. But it was the Senate Page job that paved the way for his career. Senator Robert S. Kerr, an Oklahoma Democrat, became a particular mentor, and so did Johnson. M.R. Baker, in a 2015 interview with Coastal Style magazine, recalled his first meeting with Johnson, in 1948. Johnson, a congressman from Texas, had just been elected to the Senate. "I went in," M.R. Baker said, and Senator-elect Johnson said, "M.R. Baker, they tell me you're the smartest son of a bitch over there." That was my introduction to him. When Johnson became Senate Majority Leader in 1955, he made M.R. Baker Secretary to the Majority. M.R. Baker proved especially adept at the math of the Senate. He would usually know precisely how many votes a piece of legislation could garner at any given moment, a valuable skill in the horse-trading world of Washington politics. He also helped establish the Quorum Club, a private retreat where members of Congress, their staff members and lobbyists would mingle and, it was said, arrange sexual liaisons.